Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 139. In this episode, you're going to hear three reasons why Adrienne Wieler is so badass. So, did you listen to the last episode with Adrienne? So amazing, right? She created My Solo Unfolding, and it's for divorced women or divorced moms who are trying to learn to find themselves, like on a journey of self-discovery, who they are, and also how to parent being a single mom. So let's get to the episode, yeah? Let me share 3 reasons why Adrienne is so badass. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you why Adrienne Wieler is so badass. Now, there are 3 takeaways that I want to share today. The first is Adrienne learned to ask for help. The second is how Adrienne made small pivots that led to big pivots. And the third thing that I thought was so badass about Adrienne was how she tried new things. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. The first thing, Adrienne shared how she typically didn't like to ask for help. And in the beginning of her divorce, she wouldn't ask for help. She would do it all by herself. She even said that she told herself, I got into this. I got myself into this, so I'm going to get myself out of it. But here's the thing. Sometimes it's so crucial to ask for help. And, I struggle with this just as much as the next person, but I love helping people. So I can only imagine if my friends were always saying no, or people wouldn't let me help them, then that would suck for me too. So I love you, but it's not all about you, right? It's about your loved ones, the people around you. They want to love you and support you. Let them do that. I think that builds stronger friendships when both sides can help each other out and lean on each other, when you can ask them for help and they can ask you for help. You don't always have to be the strong person. You might even learn new things about yourself and about your friendships once you're willing to ask for help. It's true. It takes vulnerability. It can be hard to ask for help. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody can say no? Okay, it's their right to say no. Maybe they are busy or they have something else going on. But remember that flip side of it. They could say yes. Helping you could make them just as happy. The fact that you asked and they're able to help, that could make them just as happy. So don't be afraid to lean on your friends and those close to you and ask them for help when you need help. So I thought that was an amazing takeaway. As something that Adrienne learned how to do was to ask for help when she needed it. The second thing that I thought was so badass about Adrienne was how she learned to make small pivots. And those small pivots led to big pivots. Remember how in the beginning, Adrienne said she struggled, like when her kids weren't with her, she didn't necessarily know what to do? And I mean, that's hard. I can tell you from experience, that's hard. When you're divorced and you don't have your kids with you all the time, that's super hard. Now, I had stepkids, and so it was a little bit different for me because I just didn't have them 100% of the time, but it's still an adjustment. It's still not your normal life. It's not what you're used to. So you just have to keep making these small pivots or these small changes and adjusting as you go. And it was funny because I was talking to Adrienne later in the episode. She said that her kids will ask to come back early sometimes, and she'll be like, no, I love you, but mommy needs her own time because I want to be good for you when you get back. And so what a change. What a change. But it doesn't sound like that happened overnight, right? You take small steps, small consistent steps, and over time it gets easier or you get better. And that could be with just like self-care, even like with prioritizing yourself or just any type of changes that you want to make. Fine, just take one little step, make one little change. And over time, those small changes can lead to big differences or big results. So don't be afraid to make small pivots. It doesn't have to happen overnight. You are still a badass. You are still doing epic things, even if you're just making small pivots. I said just, but it's not just. We just often feel like it's just a small pivot or it's just a small change. No, you are epic. You are a badass. You are doing great things. The small pivots are often more transformational than the big ones, or they lead to the big things. So keep being a badass, keep making the small changes, and you're going to get there. I mean, I know you're a badass now, but you're going to get to the point where you actually feel like, yes, I did this. All right. So now I got to ask you, are you making any changes in your life? Are you pivoting when things go wrong? If not, where can you pivot? Now, where's a spot in your life that you can make a change and kind of change direction slightly? Something to think about. It's easy to not want change and get caught up in what we're already doing, but sometimes just those small little tweaks to what you're doing can be game changers. Okay, the third reason why Adrienne is so badass is because of all the new things she tried. So one thing she talked about was she took the time to find her new identity and to be alone. And that was all new to her. She was used to being with her kids 24/7. And she had even said she hadn't spent a night alone without her kids. So she really had to find who she was again. And let me adjust that statement a little bit. She didn't have to find who she was, but she chose to. You can be sad, have a pity party, and choose to not do anything for yourself and just let the sadness swallow you up. Or you can choose to kind of figure it out and to find your new identity, find who you are, what you want, what you like. And like Adrienne said, she had to try different things to figure out what she liked. And later, Adrienne said that to try new things so you can tap into your creativity. And what I really loved that she said is have the courage to do something and not like it. Let me say that again. Have the courage to do something and not like it. So try new things. Who cares if you suck at cooking or baking or art or drawing or dancing, anything? Who cares if you suck? Have the courage to do it anyway, or try it anyway. Maybe you'll end up hating it. But what if you love it? What if it ends up being the thing that fills you up? But have the courage to try new things. And Adrienne definitely did that, and I love that she did that. So I want to ask you, when's the last time that you tried something new? Do you have the courage to do something and not like it? That could be a possible outcome, is you not liking it. But will you have the courage anyway? And I would urge you to try it. Take a piece from Adrienne's book, right? Try new things, and if you don't like it, that's fine. Move on. But at least give it a shot, because you're not going to know if you don't like it until you try it. So get in there, get in the arena, get the dust on your face, and do the hard work. And if it sucks, if you don't like it, if it doesn't work out, oh well. At least you freaking tried it. At least you got in there and gave it a go. Then you can move on to the next thing. Be curious about what's next in your life, what you can try. You're not going to love everything. And then here's the other thing, and I've talked about this on this podcast before, is you can love something and totally suck at it. Take it from me. I love drawing. I absolutely suck at it. I love dancing. I suck, like awful at it. Singing, well, singing's probably worse than dancing. I suck at them all, but I love it. And so I let that stop me from doing it for a long time. But why? If it makes you happy, it's not harming anybody, do it. I mean, okay, maybe my singing voice and my dancing could harm somebody, but, whatever. Do those things that make you happy and have the courage to try anyway. All right, quick recap. The 3 things that Adrienne said did that makes her so badass is 1, how she learned to ask for help. 2, how Adrienne made small pivots that led to big pivots. And the 3rd thing is how Adrienne was able to try new things. So my friend, I've said this over and over again. I don't know if you're doing it, but I hope you are. If you liked this episode, especially if you liked Adrienne's episode and you thought she was a badass or you learned something from her, definitely reach out to her on Instagram. Her handle is mysolounfolding. And then I'm on Instagram at ordinary to badass. So take a screenshot of the episode, throw it in your Instagram stories, and tag Adrienne, mysolounfolding, and me at ordinary to badass, and tell us a takeaway that you had from the episode. If she changed your life in some way, made you think of something differently, if you tried or are going to try and implement something, let her know. It takes courage for these badass women to come on this podcast and share their journey with us. So let's reward them by saying thank you. Let's share how they impacted our life so that they know. Because if you don't put it on Instagram and let them know, oftentimes they're not aware. They're not aware that they made epic impacts. So let's let her know. All right. With that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.